Apple does not get gaming, like, at all. That's what every lazy pundit with a platform laments. But Apple absolutely gets gaming, to the tune of billions and billions of dollars in App Store revenue each quarter. They just get that Candy Crush crushes. And casual gaming currently offers the biggest return in the business. But what if that was about to change? What if Apple is finally getting ready to just rock with hardcore gaming, the way they did TV streaming back in '19? Well, then, sponsored by Ting. Real quick, YouTube shows only a small percentage of you watching are actually subscribed. So if you like my videos, hit that button and we can make this community even bigger and better. We've all heard the rumors about the next generation Apple TV, that there's been an A12X or A12Z, the current iPad Pro chip version of the Apple TV, just sitting on the back burner for over a year already. An incremental update that'll better composite HDR video and better support upcoming Apple Arcade games and not much else. But also that there just might be another, even more advanced next generation Apple TV waiting in the wings. One whose heart beats with an A14X, something much closer akin to the brand new Mac M1 chip, or an even more powerful system on a chip. One that comes packaged with an Apple-designed game controller, and one that may also just come with full-on AAA game studio support. Maybe even some game studios acquired by Apple, just gobbled up the way the consoles have been doing. And I know, fanfic. I feel that so much right now, but just can stay with me for a minute, because we've also heard the rumors about Apple's upcoming VR headset. Now, Apple supposedly already flirted with VR gaming a few years ago, prepping a prototype under the auspices of Dan Riccio, then head of Apple hardware, even going so far as to get Valve and Steam involved, the company that famously powers the HTC Vive and their own Index VR systems. They were working on a headset that would connect wirelessly to an external compute engine, a box. But Johnny Ive, who was still chief design officer back then, said, nope. Hard British nope. Not a box, not on my watch, just nope. So the whole plan was scrapped, and the Valve and Steam thing just fizzled out along with it. But then, this week, Apple announced that Dan Riccio was leaving the top hardware job to focus on a new, special project. This just days after reports that Apple was focusing on a new, improved VR headset, one that was just a headset, no box, not at all, coming as soon as next year, high-end, expensive, with an onboard chipset that might just be more powerful than the M series, the one that Apple just transplanted into the Mac lineup, and that it'll be built around the content pillars of communication, entertaining, and you better believe it, gaming. So, two sets of rumors, a hardcore Apple TV and a breakthrough VR headset. Two sets of plans, a hardcore Apple TV and a breakthrough VR headset. Am I getting to you yet? What if these aren't two entirely separate rumors or plans? What if they're just parts of the same secret master plan? The plan by Apple to win hardcore gaming. Or, just finally show up and start playing. And here's how it could go. We get the initial hints of it later this year with the new Apple TV. It's the first device, the primer, the developer platform, similar to how Apple's been using the iPhone and the iPads for AR. A new Apple TV meant to just kick off a new higher-end Apple Arcade service, with a new focus on AAA gaming to go with it, to round out arcade and make the Apple One bundle just that much more valuable. And then, of course, it also propagates to the iPhone, the iPad, and the Mac, because we've got this new unified silicon architecture that can finally run the stuffing out of all of this stuff across all of Apple's platforms. And then, sometime next year, we get the VR headset, just the most extra, ultimate, premium, first-in-class way to experience AAA as in Apple Arcade, as well as TV Plus and FaceTime Theater, or whatever else Apple decides to use to round out the minimal, delightful product spec. And then that's it. It's launched. We're second star on the right, straight ahead to the bolder, brighter, better future of Apple gaming for everyone. And yes, I hear you. I absolutely hear you. There are just so many problems with this, so many issues that'll put all the expectational debt I've just accrued straight into karma receivership. First, Apple has shown not a pippin of interest in hardcore gaming. Sure, there are hardcore gamers at every level within Apple, including the absolute highest levels, but none of that has manifested None of that has materialized in terms of actual focus on the platform, especially, historically, hysterically, the Mac. Second, even with something more powerful than the current M series chipsets, Apple hasn't done or shown anything even close to approaching the kind of graphical power we're seeing from AMD in the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Now, sure, M1 pulls like, what, up to 15 watts, and these helicarrier graphics cards up to over 300 watts. So there's just tons and tons of room for Apple to amp up the core count and the voltage. But until we see it, there's just absolutely no reason for anyone to believe it. Third, Apple just had the opportunity, just last year, to erase a huge portion of their gaming gap on their platforms almost overnight, simply by embracing the streaming services from Microsoft, Google, Sony, Amazon, and others. You know, the way they padded out the value of both the Apple TV and TV app with the streaming services of Netflix and Disney and Paramount and Amazon and others over the last many years. Never once demanding that those video streaming services list and rate all of their titles separately in iTunes or forcing them to go stream through Safari instead. Like, for some unfathomable to me reason, they're currently forcing the game streaming services to do. Apparently not realizing or simply not caring that a gaming device with only Apple Arcade and the App Store would be about as valuable to customers as an Apple TV with only TV Plus and iTunes. But if Apple does show that interest and has hardware that's, never mind PlayStation or Xbox level, but powerful enough, at least with the first generation, and they get over whatever mind killer they currently have about game streaming, they can do what Apple typically does so well in these situations: position both a mythical next-generation Apple TV and even more mythical HR headset as the absolute best, most elegant, most secure, most privacy-centric way to enjoy just all of these myriad game streaming experiences from Apple, but yes, from everybody else as well. And if Apple is thinking anywhere even remotely along those lines, if they're at all serious about expanding devices and services into these general gaming directions, then this could be a way for them to do it, a secret master plan to do it, to take on high-end gaming, with high-end pricing to go along with it, of course. So if any or all of this interests you, then you should start saving up now, especially on your cell phone bill, with Ting. Whether you want only a little data or all of it, unlimited, Ting has the perfect plan for you and your family. You can get talk and text for just $10 a month, data from $15, 5 gigabytes for $25, unlimited from $45. Whatever you need, just go to rene.ting.com to check out the plans and see how much you can save. You get access to the best nationwide coverage in America on pretty much any phone, from the iPhone 12 to the latest greatest Galaxy S21 Ultra, to all the flips and folds. So you can keep your existing phone. You can keep your existing number too if you want to, because the next generation of Ting Mobile is here. Seriously, go to rene.ting.com and see how much you could save and get $25 off. Just click the link in the description or go to rene.ting.com and get $25 off. And clicking on that link just really helps out the channel. For more, much more on both the upcoming Apple TV and VR headset, click the playlist above. I'm breaking down all the rumors, the what, the why, the when. So just hit that playlist and I'll see you in the next video.